Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Lee and it is that time of year. So I know a lot of people have been very upset that the Pumpkin Spice Latte came out early. You're either upset or you're excited. We're gonna make Pumpkin Spice Latte soap today. It's one of the fall favorites that I make for all my craft fest fairs coming up. And as a soaper, we gotta get it done early so it has time to cure and it's ready for the fall craft fair. I am making a double batch today. This is a big seller for me, so I have a double batch of oils here. I have olive oil, coconut oil, castor oil, shea butter, and cocoa butter. This is a palm-free recipe. I'm going to add in kaolin clay and colloidal oatmeal. I'm also going to add in some heavy whipping cream. Spatula. All right. So let me get this all incorporated and I'll add in my lye and we'll come back to split colors and I'll show you what I'm gonna do with this. The lye has been mixed in along with our milk and our powders. Now, this is a pretty overall simple swirl soap, but I am gonna pipe the top and put in a paper straw to make it look like whipped topping and a pumpkin spice latte with whipped topping on top. So, since I'm doing two batches, I want to make sure that my frosting is equal between the two, and I'm going to pour those separately, and then I'm going to pour a swirl for the inside in here. So we'll start here. Okay. We did it without making too big of a mess. So this is going to be my inside swirl. Then I'm going to pour my two piping. Okay. Just one. And two. We could have made a bigger mess, so it wasn't too bad. I'm gonna set all of those over to the side. And we're gonna focus on this big container. I have mixed up a lovely, luscious color mix here that is my interpretation of what a pumpkin spice latte would look like on the inside. So inside of this, I have Electric Orange from Nurture Soap. I have Sahara Gold from Nurture Soap. And I have New Pennies Mica from Be Scented. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all of this in here. Okay, get some of that off of the little stick there. Now before I mix this up, I'm gonna bring those others back. All three of these are going to be white. So we're going to put titanium dioxide in all three containers. And we're going to blend these up. I'm not putting any fragrance oil into the piping or into the swirl. It will only be in the main batch because I don't want this soap to darken, or the white parts to darken. Now for the fragrance oil. This fragrance is from Rustic Essentials and it's called Pumpkin Bread. I've added in a tiny bit of vanilla color stabilizer. And when you use vanilla color stabilizer, you want to mix it with your fragrance oil pretty much right before you pour it to get the best results. So I'm just using a small mixer. This is a little milk frother that I purchased on Amazon. And we'll go ahead and put this in. And it will thicken your fragrance oil sometimes, so we'll just pour that right in there. It looks weird, but trust me, it's all right. You might be asking, what is vanilla color stabilizer? Well, some fragrance oils, if they have a lot of vanillin, it's an ingredient that typically you're gonna find in fragrance oils that are very sweet smelling. It will tend to darken your soap, and your soap will turn a dark brown color depending on the amount. Sometimes it might just go tan. Sometimes it will darken very, very dark brown. And now that would typically be okay with a coffee type soap, but this one, I want it to keep somewhat of that orange color. So I do add a little bit in there to help combat that darkness. It'll darken, but just slightly. Now, since our fragrance oil was so thick, with that vanilla color stabilizer, I'm gonna give it a blend. This smells incredible. I love, love, love this fragrance oil. It's got a lot of the, spicy cinnamon notes to it, and definitely pumpkin, and it's just great. It's wonderful. It's the perfect scent, in my opinion, for pumpkin spice latte. So let's start pouring. Even though I had to blend this quite a bit because of that fragrance thickening, it's still playing very nicely. That's another thing I love about this fragrance oil. It'll stay pretty fluid. Okay. I've got the majority of the base color in the mold. So now I'm going to grab our white swirl soap that's not fragranced, and we're going to do a drop swirl. This is kind of going to give the illusion of cream in our pumpkin spice latte. I don't need any of this for the top since we're going to be piping, so I'll just go ahead and pour the rest in. Now we can come back with the rest of our pumpkin spice. And my goal here, since they won't go to the top, is to make them as even as possible. So let me get the rest of this soap in, and I will show you how I pipe the top. I forgot for a second that we're doing a spoon swirl, so to kind of make this look like a swirled latte with the cream in it. I am going to take this spoon and just drag it through as a spoon swirl to get that cream. And I'll do it, I typically do it both ways when I spoon swirl. It's a lovely consistency. Oh, it smells so good. Here are the little straws that I'm going to be placing on the top of this after I pipe it. They're little paper straws, and what's great about paper straws is one, they're friendly for the environment, and two, they'll honestly just disintegrate as you use the soap, so you don't even have to worry about it, or you could snip it off before you use it too. So let's get started on the piping. Start down here. This end, we're a tiny bit fluid, but we're okay. There, we're good. Well, typically what I will do on my piping is I will do 3 rows down and then 2 rows on top of that. So my piping is, I would not at all consider this a high top soap if you're familiar with those. Oh no! That's okay, we'll cover that. But just a little bit of kind of frothy foam on the top, and it kind of comes together to make it look like it was all one piece. Now I try to keep my piping dollops in line with, you may not be able to see them, but there's faint lines on the wood part of my mold. And I will kind of cut them right there so each one has a proper dollop. And that's kind of how I'll place my straws as well. Okay, on to the second row. Now these are going to be just a tiny bit smaller. I want to make sure that I can go all the way across. Now that all the piping's on, I'm gonna take a little bit of ground cinnamon and just sprinkle it over the top to give it a little bit of a look. This is kind of, instead of glitter, we'll do it like this. Give a little bit of look of a latte with this sprinkled cinnamon on top. This will wash right off in the bath or shower. Time for the straws. So these are just going to poke right into the sides. All the way down. And then when we cut it into bars, they will look like small little individual lattes with straws. So cute. Here's the final result. We'll give it a few days and we will chop inside and I will show you how cute they are as individual bars. Let's cut in and see what our swirl looks like. Look how cute it is. I love it. This turns out so cute every year. I've got so much more of this that I need to make before my craft fairs. I think I'm gonna let the piping set up a little further next time so I get a little bit more height, but this still turned out really nice. And it smells so good. Oh, look at the swirl in that one. That's perfect. So cute.